Chosen one. Something has already begun to change, and your spirit recognized it long before your thoughts could put it into words. This is not simply another passing moment in your day. It is a divine interruption, a gentle reminder that heaven is arranging circumstances behind the scenes for your good. Anointed one. You have walked through seasons where nothing seemed to move, where your faith was tested in silence and your efforts appeared to go unnoticed. But never mistake silence for abandonment. Silence has always been part of the preparation. During those quiet seasons, God was shaping qualities within you that could never have been produced overnight. They required patience, refinement, hidden growth, and the pressure that transforms character. Scripture reminds us that there is an appointed time for every purpose under heaven, and what once looked like delay is now moving into perfect alignment. The transition has already started. What is approaching your life is not a matter of chance. It is the result of divine recognition. The things you faithfully built in private are preparing to open doors that no human effort could unlock. Chosen one. Someone is about to recognize what others failed to see. An opportunity you could never force is about to respond, not because of what you have done recently, but because of the person you have become through every season of testing. If these words have reached you today, it is because they were meant to prepare your heart before everything begins to unfold. Stay attentive, because what is about to be revealed has the power to redirect the course of your life in ways you never expected. Chosen one. Receive this truth deeply within your spirit. The opportunities standing before you will probably not arrive in the form you imagined. It will not be introduced with great excitement, obvious signs, or dramatic announcements that everything is changing. Instead, it will come quietly, almost hidden within what appears to be an ordinary day. That is why so many people overlook their appointed moments. They are waiting for something spectacular, while heaven often moves through what seems ordinary. But you have been prepared differently. Through every season of waiting, your spiritual awareness has been sharpened. You have learned to recognize what others ignore, to discern what many dismiss. And because of that, you will not overlook the moment God has prepared specifically for you. Anointed one. You have lived through seasons that felt invisible, days where you showed up, gave your best, stayed consistent, yet nothing seemed to shift. You watched others move ahead while your own path felt still. You questioned silently. Does this even matter? You kept going anyway. And heaven saw every moment of that faithfulness. What you thought was stagnation was actually formation. There is a pattern in the way heaven moves. It builds in silence. It prepares in hidden places. And then suddenly, it reveals in a single moment what was being shaped for years. What looks sudden to others is never sudden in the spirit. It is the unveiling of something that has already been prepared. Chosen one. The shift coming into your life will begin with something simple. A conversation, a connection, a moment where someone looks at you differently, not casually, but with recognition, with intention, and you will feel it. There will be a pause in your spirit, a quiet awareness that this moment carries more weight than it appears. That is not imagination. That is alignment. What people call luck is often the surface of something much deeper. It is the result of endurance, of quiet discipline, of choices you made when no one was watching. You did not build yourself for attention. You built yourself because something inside you refused to stop growing. And now that unseen growth is about to be seen. There are individuals who carry influence, and they do not move the way the world moves. They observe before they speak. They watch patterns, not performances. They know who remains steady when nothing is being rewarded. They recognize who continues to show up with integrity even when recognition is absent. Chosen one. Someone has already noticed you, not by accident, not randomly, but intentionally. They have seen how you handle pressure. They have seen how you respond when things do not go your way. They have seen how you carry responsibility without needing applause. These things speak louder than any title, louder than any introduction you could give. And at the appointed time, those observations turn into access. Now, listen carefully, because this is where the shift becomes personal. You will be in a normal moment. Nothing dramatic, nothing unusual. You will be focused on your responsibilities, doing what you always do. And then the atmosphere will begin to change. The conversation will deepen. The questions will become more intentional. And suddenly, what started as something ordinary will begin to reveal something unexpected. An opportunity. Not small. Not temporary. But something that stretches you beyond what you have been used to. And in that moment, two voices will rise within you. One will say, "This is it. This is what you've been waiting for." The other will whisper, "Are you ready for this, chosen one?" Do not be surprised by that second voice. Even those who step into their greatest moments feel that hesitation. It is not a sign that you are unqualified. It is a sign that the opportunity is bigger than your current self-image. But understand this. When someone with real influence extends an offer, they are not only looking at who you are today, they are looking at who you are becoming. They see potential that you have not fully stepped into yet. And that is why it feels overwhelming. Because this moment is not designed to keep you comfortable. It is designed to call you higher. Growth never feels familiar. Expansion never feels safe at first. But readiness is not about having everything figured out. Readiness is about your willingness to rise when the moment calls you. Chosen one. The offer is not just an opportunity. It is trust. It is someone placing weight into your hands and saying, "I believe you can carry this." And that trust was not given in a moment. It was built over time through the life you have been living quietly. Think about the seasons that felt unfair, the moments where you were overlooked, the times where progress seemed slower than it should have been. Those were not wasted experiences. They were shaping your judgment. They were strengthening your patience. They were teaching you how to respond instead of react. Those lessons are the reason this door is opening now, because this moment is not asking you to do something new. It is asking you to become someone new, to step into rooms you once thought were beyond your reach, to carry responsibility that once felt distant, to move in environments where your decisions will have weight. And now the real question rises. Not is this opportunity real, but do you see yourself as someone who can carry it, because this is where destinies begin to unfold. What happens next will not be determined by how big the opportunity is. It will be determined by how you see yourself when you stand in front of it. And there is something deeper still, because the moment after the door appears can feel even more intense than the waiting before it. Before you imagined what could happen, you hoped for change. You anticipated the breakthrough. But when it becomes real, something shifts inside you. The imagination quiets and reality begins to ask something of you. Responsibility, chosen one. This is where the message becomes sacred, because opportunity is never just about receiving something greater. It is about becoming someone greater. And the path in front of you will not simply add comfort. It will stretch you. It will refine you. It will require new levels of awareness, discipline, and clarity. But hear this. You have already been prepared. The patience you developed, that is for this moment. The discipline you built, that is for this moment. The resilience you carried through difficult seasons, that is for this moment. Nothing you went through was random. It was preparation. And now you stand at the edge of something that has been forming for longer than you realize. So when the door opens, when the conversation shifts, when the offer is placed in front of you, do not step back. Because this is not the beginning of something uncertain. This is the confirmation of everything that has been building inside you all along. Chosen one. Now listen even deeper, because what happens after the offer appears is where many destinies are either activated or quietly delayed. It is easy to desire opportunity when it feels distant. It is easy to imagine yourself stepping into something greater when it still lives in your thoughts. But when it becomes real, when the door is no longer imagined, but standing open in front of you, something shifts inside your spirit. There is a stillness, not fear exactly, but awareness, an awareness that this moment is asking something from you. Anointed one. This is where many people hesitate, not because they lack ability, but because the weight of the moment reveals how much is about to change. The comfort of the familiar begins to loosen its grip, and the unknown begins to call your name. And in that space, the mind begins to search for certainty. What if I fail? What if I'm not ready? What if I lose what I already have? These thoughts are not new. They are echoes of your past identity, trying to protect what it understands. But protection can sometimes become limitation, because the version of you that survived your previous seasons was built for endurance, not for expansion. And now, expansion is being required. Chosen one. Understand this truth. The opportunity in front of you is not just offering you something new. It is inviting you into transformation. It is calling you into a version of yourself that has not fully emerged yet. That is why it feels unfamiliar. That is why it feels intense. But that does not mean it is wrong. In fact, it is often the clearest sign that it is right. Because heaven does not call you into what you have already mastered. It calls you into what you are ready to grow into. There is a quiet moment many people experience right before everything changes. It does not look dramatic on the outside. You may be sitting alone thinking. You may be replaying the conversation in your mind. You may be staring at a message, an email, or an invitation that carries more weight than anything you have received before. And in that moment, time seems to slow down. This is where destiny becomes personal, because the dream you once asked for is now asking something back from you. It is asking for courage. It is asking for trust. It is asking for your willingness to step beyond who you used to be. Anointed one. Hear this clearly. Readiness is not proven before the step. It is revealed through the step. You do not need to have every answer. You do not need to feel completely confident. You do not need to understand every detail of what lies ahead. What you need is willingness. Willingness to learn. Willingness to adapt. Willingness to rise. Because growth does not happen inside the boundaries of certainty. It happens the moment you decide that the opportunity in front of you is greater than the fear within you. Chosen one. There is another layer to this moment that many fail to recognize. When someone with influence extends an opportunity to you, they are not simply offering a role or a position. They are extending trust. They are placing something valuable into your hands and saying, without always speaking it directly, I see something in you. That kind of trust is not given lightly. It is built over time through patterns, through consistency, through the way you carried yourself when nothing was guaranteed. Think about the moments you once felt overlooked, the times when you gave your best and received little in return, the seasons when you questioned if anyone even noticed your effort. Someone did. Not always visibly, not always immediately, but consistently. Chosen one. Your life has been speaking on your behalf long before this moment arrived. The way you handled pressure, the way you stayed grounded when things didn't go your way, the way you remained faithful in small responsibilities, those patterns created something powerful. Credibility. And credibility is what opens doors that talent alone cannot. But now that the door is open, something new is required. Perspective. Because the opportunity itself will not transform your life automatically. What transforms your life is the mindset you carry as you step into it. Some will look at this moment and focus on the risks. They will see the responsibility, the unknown, the pressure, and they will step back. Not because they are incapable, but because their focus is fixed on what could go wrong. But others, they will feel the same uncertainty and still step forward. Not blindly, not recklessly, but with a different question in their spirit. What can I become if I say yes to this? That question changes everything because it shifts your focus from fear to growth, from limitation to possibility, from hesitation to movement. Chosen one. There is a reason this moment is happening now. Scripture says that everything becomes beautiful in its time. Not early, not late, in its time. And your time is aligning. What feels sudden to you has been prepared through years of unseen development. Every lesson you learned, every setback that shaped you, every quiet decision to keep going when it would have been easier to stop, all of it was leading here. You are not stepping into something random. You are stepping into something prepared. And as you stand here now at the edge of this next chapter, there is only one question that truly matters. Not whether the opportunity is real, not whether you feel fully ready, but whether you are willing to rise into the person this moment is calling you to become. Because the offer is not just inviting you to do more, it is inviting you to become more. And what you choose next will begin to shape everything that follows. A chosen one. There is something even deeper unfolding beneath this moment. Something that cannot be seen with the natural eye, but can be felt in the spirit. Because what is happening right now is not just opportunity, it is assignment. Many people see doors as a way to advance, to move higher, to gain more. But heaven does not open doors the way the world does. Heaven opens doors to position you, not just elevate you. It places you where your presence will matter, where your voice will carry weight, where your decisions will influence more than just your own life. And that is why this moment feels sacred, because it is not just about what you are receiving, it is about what you are being entrusted with, anointed one. The offer coming toward you is not random favor. It is aligned responsibility. It is a doorway into influence, into stewardship, into a space where what you carry inside will begin to affect what happens around you. And that kind of shift requires more than ambition. It requires alignment. This is why your journey did not unfold the way you once expected. There were moments you thought doors should have opened sooner, opportunities that seemed delayed, recognition that seemed to pass you by. But if those doors had opened earlier, before your character was strengthened, the weight of what you now carry would have overwhelmed you. Heaven does not release, increase before it prepares the vessel. Chosen one. You remember those seasons, the quiet ones, the ones that felt like a wilderness, moments where you were building, learning, growing, but nothing seemed to move as quickly as you hoped. It felt like walking through a place where progress was slow, where each step required effort without immediate reward. But the wilderness was not empty. It was intentional. It stripped away distractions. It revealed what truly lived inside you. It forced you to develop faith when there was no visible evidence. It trained you to keep going without applause. It was within those quiet seasons that something lasting was created inside you. Your vision became clearer. You began to see yourself through a different perspective. You discovered how to remain committed even when motivation disappeared. You learned to carry responsibility without depending on applause. You developed the strength to stay steady while everything around you seemed uncertain. Those experiences were never meant to be temporary lessons. They became part of your character. Today, they are the very reason you are prepared for this moment. Everything that lies ahead will require the strength, wisdom, and maturity that were formed during those hidden seasons when no one else could see what God was building within you. Chosen one. When someone in a position of influence begins to recognize you, the opportunity is not simply about your abilities. It is about the weight you are capable of carrying. It is about whether your character has been refined enough to sustain the level of trust and responsibility that is about to be placed in your hands. Influence has the power to accelerate every area of life. It opens doors more quickly. It brings resources within reach. It introduces you to places and relationships that might otherwise have taken years to access. Yet every increase in influence also brings greater responsibility. The choices you make begin to affect more than your own journey. Every decision carries greater significance. Every action reaches farther than you may realize. This is often the place where many people become overwhelmed, not because they lack ability, but because they fail to understand the weight of what has changed. But that will not be your story. You have already been prepared for this season. Through every challenge, you learned to respond with discernment instead of impulse. You learned to remain firmly grounded, even when emotions tried to pull you away from peace. You continued moving forward, despite not seeing immediate results. Those were never ordinary lessons. They were the foundations of true leadership, quietly established long before anyone recognized your value. And now those very foundations will become the strength that guides every step you take in the season ahead. Chosen one. Scripture speaks of a moment where light rises and a person is called to stand. It does not say, wait until you feel ready. It says, rise. Rising is a decision. It is the moment you choose to move forward, even when everything is not fully clear. Many people wait for confidence before they act. But confidence does not come first. Movement does. The first step requires trust. Trust in what has already been built inside you. Trust in the timing that brought this moment into your life. Trust that this opportunity is not appearing by accident. And when you take that step, something begins to shift. What once felt overwhelming begins to open. What once felt distant begins to feel accessible. Your perspective expands. Your understanding deepens. You begin to realize you belong here. Not because of luck, not because of chance, but because of who you have become, anointed one. There is something else you must recognize. This opportunity will change your environment. You will find yourself in conversations that feel different, sitting in spaces where decisions are made, engaging with individuals whose influence reaches further than you are used to. At first, it may feel unfamiliar. You may question whether you truly fit, but hear this clearly. The door did not open because you suddenly became ready overnight. The door opened because the person you have been becoming for years is now ready to step through it. Like a seed beneath the soil, your growth was happening long before it was visible. There were seasons where it felt like nothing was changing, but beneath the surface, roots were forming. Strength was developing in places no one could see. And now the surface is breaking. What is emerging is stronger than anyone expected, including you. Chosen one. This is what happens when preparation meets timing. Everything begins to align. The lessons make sense. The delays reveal their purpose. The patience you were forced to develop becomes the very thing that allows you to carry what is now in front of you. And now you stand here, not as the person you used to be, but as the person you were being shaped to become all along. And what comes next will require you to fully step into that truth. Chosen one. Now the moment becomes even more refined, because what is approaching your life will not only expand your environment, it will test your alignment. Many people think elevation is proven by what they gain, but in truth, elevation is revealed by what they are able to carry without losing themselves. Because when opportunity increases, so does exposure. New voices will surround you. New ideas will compete for your attention. New paths will present themselves, some aligned, some distracting, and this is where discernment becomes essential. Not every open door is meant for you, and not every attractive path carries your purpose. Anointed one. You are stepping into a season where decisions will shape more than just your next step. They will shape your direction. You may find yourself in conversations that sound promising, but feel unsettled in your spirit. You may encounter opportunities that look beneficial on the surface, but lack the deeper alignment that brings peace. This is why your sensitivity has been sharpened over time. The lessons you learned in quieter seasons trained you to recognize what is real and what is merely appealing. Chosen one. The same voice that guided you through uncertainty before will guide you now through expansion. And you must listen to it more than ever, because, as provision begins to flow, it can easily become a distraction if it is not anchored in purpose. Many chase resources without understanding why they want them. They pursue success as a destination instead of seeing it as a tool. But you have been shaped differently. You have seen what it feels like to build with little. You have experienced seasons where every decision required thought, where growth demanded discipline, where progress came through consistency rather than convenience. Those seasons were not lack. They were preparation for stewardship, because when increase comes, it reveals what already lives inside a person. If there is clarity, increase expands it. If there is confusion, increase magnifies it. If there is purpose, increase accelerates it. And this is why your foundation matters more than your opportunity. Anointed one. The opportunity approaching your life carries provision, but provision will follow responsibility, not replace it. It may begin quietly through a connection, an idea, a conversation that leads to another opening. It may not arrive all at once, but as it unfolds, you will begin to see a pattern forming, doors connecting, people aligning, paths becoming clearer. This is how heaven moves, not always in sudden bursts, but in sequences that reveal themselves step by step. Chosen one. You must remain anchored as this unfolds, because the more access you receive, the more intentional you must become. Influence will introduce you to environments where decisions carry weight, where your voice may be sought after, where your presence begins to matter in ways you did not expect. And in those spaces, your greatest strength will not be talent, it will be character. Talent may open the door, but character determines. The environments ahead will not always be simple. There will be moments that require wisdom instead of speed, patience instead of reaction, clarity instead of impulse. You will need to listen carefully, observe deeply, and move with intention. But hear this clearly. You have already been trained for this. The resilience you built when things were uncertain, the discipline you held when progress was slow, the humility you carried when recognition was absent, those are the very qualities that will sustain you now. Nothing was wasted. Anointed one. There is also a shift happening within your identity that cannot be ignored. Because as opportunity increases, your perception of yourself must evolve. You cannot step into new levels while holding on to old limitations. The beliefs that once defined what you thought was possible for your life must now be released, because they no longer match who you are becoming. You may notice moments where old thoughts try to resurface, telling you to stay small, to remain where it feels safe, to question whether you truly belong in the spaces opening before you. But those thoughts belong to a previous version of you, and you are no longer that person. You have grown beyond that identity. You have been shaped, refined, and prepared for something greater. And now the environment is beginning to reflect that inner transformation. Chosen one. This is where many people turn back, not because the opportunity disappears, but because their mindset remains anchored in who they used to be. But you will not turn back, because something inside you recognizes that this moment is not random. It is the intersection of everything you have been building toward, and as you move forward, something powerful begins to happen. Alignment creates momentum. The more you walk in purpose, the more things begin to flow. Not because life becomes easy, but because direction becomes clear. You begin to see how one decision connects to another, how one step opens the next, how one act of faith leads to another level of understanding. And this momentum will not only affect you, it will affect those around you, because true influence is not isolated. It expands outward. Anointed one. The provision connected to your next season will carry potential far beyond your personal needs. It may allow you to build, to invest, to create opportunities not only for yourself, but for others. It may position you to support ideas, people, and visions that were once out of reach. But remember, this provision is not the purpose. It is the support for the purpose, and if you remain aligned, what flows into your life will not stop with you. It will move through you. This is how impact is created. This is how influence becomes meaningful. And this is why your journey required patience. Because if this level of access had come earlier, before your perspective shifted, it could have distracted you instead of empowering you. Chosen one. As this chapter continues to unfold, there is one final layer that must settle within your spirit, because what is coming is not only about opportunity, not only about provision, not only about influence, it is about identity. The offer that is approaching your life will reveal something about who you truly are becoming, and when that realization fully arrives, you will understand why this moment had to happen now and not before. Oh, chosen one. As this moment fully unfolds, you must understand this final truth. The offer that is coming toward you is not simply redirecting your path. It is revealing your identity, not the identity shaped by past limitations, not the one defined by what you have been through, but the one heaven has been forming within you all along. Because every time a door opens at the right moment, it exposes something deeper than opportunity. It exposes who you are becoming, anointed one. For a long time, your identity may have been influenced by quiet battles, by moments where you had to prove yourself without recognition, by seasons where you questioned your place. Those experiences created a narrative in your mind about what was possible for you, but divine moments have a way of interrupting that narrative. They challenge the version of you that learned to stay small. They confront the belief that certain spaces were never meant for you. And they replace it with a new awareness that you were always being prepared for more. Chosen one. This is why the moment feels weighty, because it is not just asking you to accept something external, it is asking you to accept something internal, to see yourself differently, to recognize that the strength you developed, the discipline you carried, the resilience you built were not survival traits. They were leadership traits. What once helped you endure is now equipping you to lead, to influence, to carry responsibility with clarity and purpose. Anointed one. There will still be moments where the old voice tries to speak. It may remind you of past doubts, past delays, or past versions of yourself that felt uncertain. But that voice no longer holds authority, because your life has already proven something greater. You have already overcome challenges that once felt impossible. You have already adapted, grown, and continued forward when stopping would have been easier. That evidence lives within you now, and it is stronger than any doubt that tries to return. Chosen one, the opportunity before you is not appearing by chance. It is appearing because the person you have become is capable of carrying it. Heaven does not release this kind of shift into a life that is unprepared in spirit. It waits until the foundation is strong, until the heart understands stewardship, until the mindset is ready to handle influence without losing purpose. And that is why this moment is happening now. Anointed one, as you step forward, remember that what you carry is not just for you. The influence, the access, the provision, they are tools. Tools to build, to uplift, to create impact that extends beyond your own life. This is what makes the moment sacred, because it is not only elevation, it is assignment. And when identity aligns with that assignment, something powerful happens. You begin to move with clarity. You begin to speak with confidence rooted in purpose. You begin to make decisions that reflect who you are becoming, not who you used to be. Chosen one. This is the shift. Not just in direction, but in awareness. The transformation taking place is not limited to new opportunities. It reaches far deeper, touching your very identity. As you stand at this point in your journey, you are not entering unfamiliar territory. You are stepping into the very calling that has been developing within you through every season of waiting, every trial, and every quiet act of faithfulness. So when the opportunity finally appears, do not hold back. Do not allow fear to convince you that you are unworthy. Do not question whether you belong where God is leading you. Receive it with confidence, born from His faithfulness. Move forward with courage. Carry every blessing with humility. This moment has not arrived to examine whether you are ready. It has come to reveal the person you have already become. From this point forward, much of what unfolds in your life will be shaped by the choice you make today to trust God's leading rather than your own doubts. Chosen one. These words are more than the closing of a message. They are confirmation that a new season has already begun unfolding around you. What is drawing near is not the result of chance or coincidence. It is the fulfillment of divine alignment. Heaven has witnessed your journey from beginning to end. Every act of patience, every hidden sacrifice, every quiet display of strength has been fully seen. The door standing before you is not meant to burden you with pressure. It has been opened with purpose. Anointed one. As you walk into this next chapter, refuse to define yourself by the person you once were. Instead, embrace the person God is shaping you to become. The same grace that sustained you when no one noticed your faithfulness will continue sustaining you when your life becomes more visible. The wisdom that was quietly formed during seasons of silence will become your guide in moments of greater influence and responsibility. Remain firmly grounded. Continue walking with discernment. Keep your heart aligned with God's presence in every decision you make. If this message has spoken deeply to your spirit, write 777 inches the comments as a declaration that you are ready to receive everything God is unfolding in your life. If you sense the Lord leading you, stay connected so you can continue receiving the encouragement and guidance prepared for this season of your journey. Chosen one, may God's peace guard your mind. May His wisdom direct every choice you make. And may each step ahead be established according to His perfect timing. The change you have been waiting for is no longer somewhere in the future. It has already begun, and you are walking into it now.